Get it, baby. GMGP. GMGP. It is Thursday, February 12th. Jay, the year is flying by. 2026. Valentine's Day right around the corner, Jay.
It's coming up, Ray. You ready?
Jay, it's right around the corner. I hope y'all got it together. I hope them Pro Flowers orders may not make it. 1-800-Flowers, Jay. It may not make it on the 12th. You got to go to that Kroger. And here's the key. If you have to go to the grocery store to get the flowers, this is what you got to do. Ask them to wrap them. Don't just buy them out of the plastic. Don't just buy it out of the refrigerator. Say, hey, can you put the paper wrap with the bow on this? Make this shit look a little more official. Jay, we got kids in the building. Watch your mouth. GMGP to everybody in the building. I see you in there, Jimbo. Jason in the building. Wyatt. Adam saying Thursday still has him tripped up. Cozy Jackson in the building. Rico. Ryan, what's going down with you, Kevin? I see you up there, baby. And Mick, as always, in the building. Yeah, y'all got to get it together. Every Tuesday, every Thursday in the offseason, we're going live talking all things NFL. And right now, we are in the season of the NFL draft. So we're going to do a lot of draft content over here. Have a lot of fun. Rookie Mock 1.0 today. Jay Rich?
Yes, sir.
Jay Rich is back there behind the scenes looking at ADP, trying to figure out what he's going to do. We're going to take a look at Field Yates, who dropped the mock yesterday. We'll take a look at that. I think Jay Rich has got Dane Brugler's top 100 up. We'll talk through some of these fits, some of these players. Not a lot of NFL stuff. It's the off season, so make sure you tap in. We are here every week, whether we're tired, ain't nothing going on. We're here to entertain y'all, so we appreciate each and every eye, each and every ear. We do ask you to do one thing, and that's support. You support by hitting the thumbs up button, liking the video, subscribing to the channel. We got more people watching the shows than subscribe to the channel. So go ahead and fix that. Subscribe to the channel. Show some love. Check out all the other content on the channel. We dropped some Monday, Tuesday, had some different pieces of content drop. If you have not checked out the Fernando Mendoza prospect profile, make sure you check that out. A lot of people say they really like this one. Best one they saw, Jay Rich. So kudos to you, dropping bombs with the draft content. Jeremiah Love, the #1 overall running back in this class, he is up next. But Jordan Richards, my friend, how are you today, baby?
I'm good. You know, I saw that February 12th. I was like, damn, better make sure I'm sorted for Valentine's Day because that is coming up very, very quickly. But I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, it is mock season. It's draft season. This is when we prepare for what's going to happen in the NFL draft. Combine invites went out. You know, Trinidad Chambliss not on that list, whether that's because they don't think he's going to be drafted high or because he's probably back in college football. I'm not so sure. There's some other curious names that didn't make it into that list. But yeah, we got Dane Brugler's top 100 up. We'll kind of talk through that a little bit where, you know, it's not the same as a mock because it's just valuing players as players regardless of position and team fit. And of course, I have the DDFFB ADP up, curated. Superflex ADP. We'll probably do some flex mock draft. We can talk about some non-superflex stuff. But yes, I'm finally diving a little bit more so into the lower tier players. And I was telling you pre-show that I really, really like Omar Cooper. It was a lot of highlights.
You did say that.
But, you know, there's some hype for Cooper, and I kind of get it. He's very dynamic after the catch. I think he's a good receiver, but we will see where he ends up in this mock because it's all about the wideouts in this draft. No running backs, Ray. None. And the guys that are declaring are, well, we will get there, and I will need your thoughts on them. But I'm very excited because it's my first mock. I haven't done any of the DD mocks, so it should be very entertaining for the people that are tapped in and watching me suffer when we get through the first round.
Well, we might all be suffering together. I think a lot of people are trying to figure out who's in this class, what the class is about, but it is full-on draft season. Jay, check X, man. I see the stream, but is this Elon's algorithm blocking this where you can't go live on X anymore? I see us up, but I don't see the thing on the timeline.
It's a Restream issue. Restream is having issues with publishing streams on X right now.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? Something. Well, we got the people in the building. Mick, I see you in there. What's going on, Brandino? 209, and then Jimbo saying those flowers are a waste of money. Hey, that is beyond. That's besides the point.
Tell that to
that's
Rhea, because that was my only instruction was flowers.
That is beside the point. It must be done. Get an amaryllis bulb. Have you ever heard of that, Jay? You don't even have to water the thing, and it blooms. All you got to do is get the sunlight. No water involved. All right, Field Yates dropped a mock. Let's start there. We were going to mock off of a mock, but most of these things are one round, so it's hard to do a type of exercise like that. So let's just take a look at where Field Yates, one of the bigger draft analysts, one of the big names in the space, right? He's been doing it for a long time. Reputable
ESPN.
Source. Field Yates, ESPN, you know what I'm saying? So he's got to have the insider knowledge, Jay Rich. Field's got to know what's going on. But let's pull it up. Let's react to this mock. We're a few days removed from the Super Bowl. Oh, everybody's still feeling like, hey, I know what I need to do in order to change these teams. So let's pull it up, talk through it, and then we will do our own rookie mock. We could use these, but probably not enough. Probably not enough offensive players to go around. But Jay, let's pull it up. Field Yates, first round mock draft dropped yesterday over on ESPN. And number one, no surprise, right, Jay?
Mendoza, number one in every mock. He's like minus 8,000 to go number one overall. No surprise here. Clint Kubiak, now the head coach. Maybe that gives a bit of a boost for some people, right? Yeah, officially announced the head coach.
Officially.
We'll see what he can do with that offensive line, but he did a good job with Seattle. Mendoza, no surprise at the top. Dane Brugler's number 2 overall player, only behind Arvell Reese, who went number 2 to the Jets. Ray, how do you feel about this fit? It seems like more and more people are putting Reese at number 2. Do you think he ultimately ends up a Jet when April comes around in the draft?
It's going to be defense. I go back and forth. Here's the thing. Field Yates has him listed as an edge right here. Everybody's like, he's just a linebacker. Off-ball linebacker. Very good off-ball linebacker. But at 2, I would still have Ruben Bain probably sitting at number 2 for the Jets. What's this Jets team going to do? Aaron Glenn is back, your favorite coach in the NFL. Who's the offensive coordinator? Frank Wright is the offensive coordinator, Wright, I believe. Yes. Frank Wright is the OC there.
And they brought in, is it Buddy Ryan? I
think it was Musgrave. I think it was Bill Musgrave, I believe. I believe they brought in Bill Musgrave.
Bill Musgrave. Okay.
I think it was Musgrave. Don't quote me on that one. I still think it's probably Ruben Bain, but we'll see. Combine is in 2 weeks. We will be. Yep. I will be streaming live. Jay Rich probably will join me for some of it, but I'll be streaming pretty much the entire combine, going through that with y'all. Okay. So it'll be fun going through that. Done it for the past couple of years. So combine time, we'll get to talk through that, and we'll see. But I'm not sure what the Jets do at 2. And honestly, it doesn't really feel like it's a 2026 play regardless. I just, outside of them winning the AFC East, which they're not, I can't see them bringing back Aaron Glenn. So get your defensive guys and load up the defense for the next head coach that's coming in 2027. Number 3, we got Francis Mauigoa, offensive tackle out of Miami. Matt LaFleur, head coach. Kyler. Do they bring back Brissett, who's a free agent? Do they go a different direction? This just feels like a safe pick for a new regime. Just get the tackle, right?
Yep. Yeah, they need a tackle. It's a good pick for them. Could go defense, and kind of surprised they're not going defense. I think they could have a pretty good defense if they got Bailey, if they got Bain, if available. But yeah, with Mike LaFleur as the new head coach, then I expect them to go offense with this pick.
We got some gems getting dropped right here from Alex. Alex said, hey, I'll put y'all on. My wife loves blankets in the house, as does mine. Valentine's last year, I got her a bouquet blanket. It folds up into a full rose or sunflower bouquet and unfolds into a blanket.
I've been seeing ads for that like crazy on IG.
Oh, I already know. Now,
I can't.
Now mine is going to pop up. It's going to be on the feed. It's going to be on the feed now. I'm going to see that rose blanket because of Alex,
Ray,
man.
I literally see those. I'm like, man, what a stupid gift. Who the hell would buy that?
Hey, man. And Alex just said he did, and he said she loves it. So there you go. You may need to follow suit, baby. Shout out Alex and Alex's wife. Let's keep it pushing, Jay. Francis Mauigoa at 3. At 4, David Bailey goes to the Tennessee Titans. I'm fine with it. Totally fine with it. I've mocked him as high as number 3 to Arizona. Good edge rusher. Pair somebody up with Jeffrey Simmons.
Saleh head coach, right?
And Saleh head coach.
Right? You talked about it with the floor. It's kind of the same direction with new head coach, right? Rather than going receiver at number 4. Who is your favorite receiver to go to Tennessee at 4?
That's my thing. Honestly, people may hate me for this one. I don't think I would take any receiver at 4. I don't think I would take any receiver at 4. Not this year.
If you can't trade down, I wouldn't take a receiver
I wouldn't do it at 4, not this year. And it's a deep receiver class, very deep receiver class. High-end guys, very good. Deep receiver class, I probably would not do that at 4, Jay Rich. That's just me. At 5, the Giants. You ready for the G-Men's pick? We've got Caleb Downs, the safety out of Ohio State. going to the Giants. A lot of people say it's too high to take a safety. You don't take that position this high. He would be the highest drafted safety.
You always go back to Eric Berry, right?
I think it's Eric Berry was 5th overall to the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe it was Eric Berry, and a lot of people probably don't remember just how damn good Eric Berry was at Tennessee, but I'll just say Eric
Berry, Sean Taylor were both 5th. Did you know this guy, Eric Turner, went 2nd overall in 1991
I do not remember Eric Turner.
To the Cleveland Browns.
What I do remember is Eric Berry, SEC game versus Florida, him and Tim Tebow. They met in the alley, baby. They met that. I got goosebumps thinking about that. That's when you get that type of collision, that type of one-on-one matchup. It's almost, I believe it was another one. Ray Lewis was linebacker, and he went up against, I think it was Ray Lewis, Eddie George. They hit head up one time, and it was just Eric Berry, Tim Tebow. I still got the play in my head, but highest drafted since then. He's awesome.
Yeah, so
I think he's a great. I think he's a great player. I see a lot of mocks with him falling to Dallas. I think at the end of the day, it just doesn't happen. He's just too good of a player. Is this the Giants' biggest need? Probably not. Offensive line, they could go some other directions, but I don't think any Giants fan would be upset about landing Caleb Downs at 5. Now, for your second favorite team in the NFL, if it ain't the Saints, it's the Browns. Jay Rich, your Browns. Go offensive tackle to protect your quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. How you feel about it?
Well, whether it's Shedeur Sanders, seen some rumors of Malik Willis potentially, right? You know,
what are your thoughts on that? Willis to Cleveland.
I think it actually makes a lot of sense. You know, knowing that Monken was working with Lamar for a few years, Willis is, of course, not Lamar Jackson, but he can definitely run a similar style offense in the way they utilize both the quarterback's arm and legs kind of in tandem, and we know they have a great running game. Fano would provide another tackle what they desperately need. Their offensive line was very depleted throughout the season, but definitely adding an offensive lineman this high in the draft at the caliber of Fano is definitely going to help out this team dramatically, and we know they got to protect the quarterback. That's probably their number one thing right now. Whoever the quarterback is, got to stay protected because they're only shot at winning games, so Fano would be a great pick for the Browns here. I think receiver would be a terrible decision.
You think receiver, you wouldn't do it?
I think to your point with the depth of the receiver class, right? So you you can only get Fano. You're not getting a similar caliber tackle down at 35, 36. So that's where for me I'd take the hit at receiver versus the hit at tackle if you had to go receiver first, tackle second versus tackle first, receiver second.
All right, Jay. At 7, Washington Commanders. Everybody wants that JD5 bounce back in 2026. They say, all right, we're going to get you some help. No Jeremiah Love, though. They're going wide receiver at 7. Carnell Tate, the first receiver off of the board out of the Ohio State. Coming into the draft process, Jay, I think I had him at 3 just from the summer scout. Okay. And what people don't know is I put some summer scouting videos out there. Which one did I do that never got released to the public? It was Carnell Tate. It was Carnell Tate. It's still sitting in the draft folder, right? Because after I did it, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it never got published. And thank goodness, because I need to see some improvement in 2026. And I think we saw in 2025. And we saw that. And when I live charted every target from Carnell Tate versus Lemon, versus Tyson, versus Brazel, versus Bernard, versus Boston, versus Concepcion, all of them, he graded out higher than any of those guys to me. I do have him as my wide receiver 1 in the class, 6'3", close to 200 pounds, big vertical threat, probably the best sideline awareness and body control in the class. He's up there at the top. Big-time playmaker. Young, he'll be the only wide receiver to play his entire rookie year at 21 years old, so you're talking about a very young player. I love this fit in Washington with Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin. Offensively, it's 1 year removed from being outstanding. It's kind of like the revisionist history, out of sight, out of mind. People forget how good that team was offensively in 2024 with a rookie JD5 and the injuries, right? Injuries kind of wrecked him. But you look at Laramie Tunsil, he graded out as one of the best tackles this year in the NFL. So that's a good pick there. Hopefully Josh Connerly continues to improve. But I would love Tate with JD5 in Washington. Yeah,
I mean, it's Tate and Terry together is very interesting because it kind of depends on how they want to deploy Terry. Because if they want to deploy him a bit more inside in the slot, then I think Tate's a good fit. But if he's going to stay outside, I'd almost prefer a player that can play in the slot a little bit more than Tate in a Lemon or a Tyson. So I'd be curious kind of how they wanted to deploy Terry, but I'm fine with the fit. I don't think it's the best fit personally. I think just having a player that's a bit more dynamic over the middle of the field, whether it's Lemon or Tyson, Lemon probably be the better fit there. I think he just complements a player like Terry a little bit better. I think it's better for JD5 too, because there's going to be lots of opportunities over the middle. We know they're probably going to lose Debo in the offseason, right? So I'm curious that fit and why Tate versus one of those other guys, but it seems like Tate is the wide receiver one across the board. I mean, he's Brugler's wide receiver one as well, and he said he's going to be a playmaking Z in the NFL right away. So that tells you all you need to know, and that would fit in very well with Washington as well.
Yeah, I have him ranked as my top wide receiver. He was the first player I scouted, and it's held through. My play style comparison for him is George Pickens, and I see some of that in the chat. Some other people saying they absolutely love this fit. Scribbles is saying, finally, somebody mocks a wide receiver to Washington. There you go. G-Dog said Tate would be a good fit. Kev says Pickens 2.0. And then he also said maybe he's got some Devontae Adams to his game. Also, Rico saying, who's the OC? Like, I hear all that. Sounds fun. Who's the offensive coordinator in Washington? And honestly, Jay, I couldn't tell you right now because it's not Cliff Kingsbury. Who's calling the plays in Washington?
I don't know. Oh, it's Blau. What?
David Blau? David Blau?
David Blau.
Really? David Blau calling the plays in Washington. Okay. Blau. We're going to move on to number 8. The New Orleans Saints draft Jordan Tyson in this mock to give Tyler Shuck another body, another option, another weapon. And ironically, the play style comparison that I gave to Jordan Tyson is who? Chris Olave. Chris Olave. And now he's right here with Chris Olave in New Orleans. I believe Olave is probably going to get a big deal. Isn't he due a contract extension this offseason? He's probably, we kept talking about, who's the receiver we were talking about last time getting paid and like a top 5 receiver? No. We were talking about a receiver and would they get top 5 money? It wasn't DK
probably
Metcalf.
Alec Pierce.
Maybe it was Alec Pierce. How high?
We were talking about,
you were like,
Alec
25.
Pierce because I was like, I can't pay Alec Pierce $30 million.
How much is Olave going to get? Is he going to be paid like a top? Is he going to get more than DK?
No. So I think with Olave, you probably see I don't want to call it a bridge deal, but similar to like we've seen in the past, right? Once you get off that rookie deal, DK took it, Devontae Smith took it, Waddle took it. I think there's a few other receivers as well, but it's that like 3-year, $80 million deal. I think that's the deal they give Olave out the gate, and then they kind of go from there. I don't know if they're going to just give him, 4 years, $110 million. He's a very good receiver, but I think the injury concerns are still a factor here. I think they probably go shorter term and give him like a 3-year, maybe 85 million. But I haven't seen any projections on his deal either. So maybe they are looking to give him a full like 4 or 5 year extension.
I think he's going to get a pretty solid deal. Jay,
you think they'll go that far on him? You think they'll give him a 4 or 5 year deal?
I don't know about 5-year deal. You just don't see a lot of 5-year deals from pass catchers now. But I think a 4-year deal.
It's kind of superficial.
He's probably going to get a 4-year deal. And if you have not checked out Jordan Tyson, prospect profile is live on the channel. Very good player. Very, very interesting stats about him being outside of the top 200 wide receivers in his high school class, and the cohort in which he would join once he's inevitably drafted in round 1. He'll join just one of 3 wide receivers ever drafted in round 1 while being ranked outside the top 200 positional receivers. Him, Justin Jefferson, Corey Davis, and Josh Doxton all accomplished that feat. At number 9, this is the pick that everybody wants to see, yet nobody believes will happen, Jay, or they shouldn't do it. And I've heard a lot of people who cover the Kansas City Chiefs say, hey, we've got more pressing needs than the running back position, but Jeremiah Love does go to Kansas City at 9.
What is with the slipping of all these edge rushers? Jeremiah Love with new running backs coach DeMarco Murray. Eric Bieniemy. Right, Ray? Come on.
DeMarco Murray.
I mean,
shout out to Marco, man. That's the homie. He's from the hometown. We went to school together, man. He's from
Did
from
you text
North
him
Las
to congratulate
Vegas.
him?
I did not text him to congratulate him.
Jeez.
But the group chat was going off and I saw it, but I should have said something, but yeah. Congratulations.
Jeremiah Love in KC, Ray. Is there a better fit for Jeremiah Love? And do you think this would vault him up to running back 1 status out the gate in his rookie season?
I'm sure there are better fits, but how many are realistic?
Yeah.
Probably not many.
Do you think he goes higher than that? Like, what do you think the highest he could go in the draft? Because if you're getting mocked here at 9 in February, you may see like a top 5 when the draft comes around.
I've seen mocks with him as high as 3 to Arizona.
Wow.
They just say he's the best player in the class. They just say he's the best player in the class. I know the positional value is not there for the position, running backs, but I've seen him as high as 3. I've seen him frequently mocked to Washington at 7, New Orleans at 8, Kansas City at 9. So I've seen
the sweet spot. 7 to 9 is like the sweet spot right now.
7 to 9 and as high as 3. So Jeremiah Love to Kansas City, would he instantly be the RB1 in Dynasty? No. I think Bijan is still there. Jahmyr Gibbs is still there. What would be interesting is how people would feel about him versus a player like Devon Achane, who I believe is top 5 right now.
RB3. Ashton Jeanty, RB4. Omar and Hampton, RB5.
Where would he slot in? Jeremiah Love gets picked 9th overall to Kansas City.
Man.
Okay, give me 2. Hold on. Let me ask you 2 ways. How do you think the people will react and where will they put him, the consensus community, and what would you do?
I think he would be RB3. But I think I would have him probably at 4 behind Jeanty.
Out the gate.
I think I'd have him at 4. I don't think I could put him ahead of Jeanty because I still want to believe Jeanty can be great in this Kubiak system. Right? And I think part of it as well is like, while running back is still a very easy position to acclimate to the NFL, like there was definitely an acclimation process for Ashton Jeanty. It wasn't just get to the league, you just run and you're good to go. Like it's a very different.
I don't know how much it was acclimation versus the offensive situation was awful.
For sure. But it's a combination. But it's like I don't know if I could put Love right there. Because if he's not as good as those guys out the gate, you're like, well, why was he there in the first place? I think, talk about him versus Johnny Taylor, definitely a conversation because Taylor is older. Achane is going to be in a terrible offense
He'd
next
be
year.
over Taylor. He'd be over Taylor.
I think at that point, you're debating him versus Jeanty and Achane and where you slot him into that top 5.
He would be ranked ahead of Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan Taylor will outscore him significantly next season. I would bet money on that. But this would be a dope long-term fit. And his ability to play behind his pads, behind the tackles, and in space, incredible player. You could use him in the receiving game and between the tackles, but that leaves maybe the value so far on the board. Cincinnati, Jay Rich goes Ruben Bain at 10.
Jeez.
Man.
Every mock, I just can't believe that an edge rusher falls outside the top 10 or at like right here. Bain falls, Bailey falls. There's always a guy who falls. I'm like, this is one of the most important positions in the NFL. They are going to lose Trey Hendrickson this offseason and they just replace him with Ruben Bain just like that. I mean, there's not a better fit for them than getting Ruben Bain at 10. It'd be ridiculous for them. It'd be an absolute value.
And maybe this helps unlock something from first round pick from last year, Shamar Stewart. Having a Bain out there, having your two young edge rushers out there. Stewart didn't do anything last year. We know the saga with signing and all of this stuff, but this would be a home run pick. So there's the top 10. Let's get through the rest of this mock. Miami at 11. We know they need defensive back help. They go Mansour Delane out of LSU. I think this, whether it's Delane, whether it's McCoy, if there's another corner that emerges as the top player, which I doubt there will be, those are your top 2 guys.
High, right?
Miami is going to, this makes sense, them going defensive back here at 11. At 12, let's see what my boys do, Jay Rich. Dallas Cowboys take linebacker Sonny Styles out of Ohio State. I don't know if there's been a player mocked to Dallas more than Styles, which means they're taking an offensive lineman at 11, at 12. There's no way. There's every time these mocks come out, and here's my rationale behind this one. Would I love Styles at 12? Absolutely. I think he's a top 5 player in the class. Would love him at 12. The linebacking class here in 26 is legit. I mean, it's deep. Second round, you're getting cats late first, third round. This linebacking core here in 2026 is outstanding. So would there be another player that you can slot in here to Dallas and then take a shot on off-ball linebacker later? They've had success in that in the past. I love Styles, but the fact that this is the consensus pick, it just lets me know that it's probably not going to happen, but I would love it. Sonny Styles, 12 to the Dallas Cowboys would be dope. The Rams, they go defensive back, Jay Rich. They need corner help. They go Jermon McCoy at 13. And then the Ravens, who do they take at 14, Jay?
Makai Lemon, wide receiver out of USC. Zay Flowers maybe souped up a little bit, right, in this Ravens offense. We'll see what they decide to do offensively. We know, obviously, Lamar Jackson will be a huge part of what they do. But how do you feel about Lemon's fit in Baltimore, knowing that there really isn't a whole lot of receiver support there outside of Zay Flowers? And I wouldn't expect Lemon to overtake Flowers in year one. But how do you feel about Lemon's, short-term and long-term potential in Baltimore?
Got to see, right? We have to see. We have not seen Baltimore really just. I mean, they got a Pro Bowl receiver right now in Zay Flowers. But
his numbers were surprisingly good this season.
What were Flowers' numbers this year? What were Flowers' numbers this year?
I believe he was like. Let me pull him up quickly. But I believe he was like top 12 in receiving or something on the season. Which
that's solid
again, for Flowers.
I think it's a great fit.
Surprising.
I know people are thinking, okay, what would this mean for fantasy football?
1,200 yards.
1,200 yards?
86 receptions, 11th in the NFL, 1,211 yards, 7th in the NFL, only 5 touchdowns, though, which
I think Lemon would be great for Lamar Jackson in the Baltimore offense. Do I think he would overtake Zay Flowers? No. Do I think he's better right now than Zay Flowers? No. I think this would be a better fit for Lamar in the offense than it would be for Lemon becoming this
team fit over individual fit and like individual success.
Superstar out the gate. And I don't know if with the depth of the class, with the trenches available to Baltimore right here, aren't they losing Tyler Linderbaum? Haven't the Ravens said that Ronnie Stanley is a little bit, he's getting to that point. We need to start thinking about some things. In Daniel Falele, the left guard, atrocious. It would seem to me that the trenches, I know Matabuke said the neck is better. He's feeling good. Whether that be the O-line or the D-line, maybe that would be a priority for Baltimore over receiver.
Do you think it's a reach here, though? Because, we've named a lot of the top
I think reach
10,
is relative. I think it's
guys.
relative in this class.
Fair.
This isn't one of those classes. After Downs, after Reese, Baines, Styles,
trade
Mendoza.
Down from this spot. If your plan is to draft Lemon, you trade down because you can get a guard in the 20s, right? Like people thought Gray Zabel was a reach and he was like one of the best picks of the first round last year.
Yes.
But again, that's in the 20s versus at 14.
I think this is the class where you get your guy. You get your guy. I don't believe there are 10 blue chip prospects here. You get your guy. Let's look at 15. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they go Cassius Howell, edge rusher out of Texas A&M, led the SEC in sacks, explosive. Little bigger than I thought when I saw him in person. I was like, okay, he doesn't look like Bane. Bane, his calves, I'm not shitting you, Jay. His calf muscles are that big. I was like, good Lord, this dude is put together. But Cassius Howell, Tampa Bay needs defense. They needed quite a bit in Tampa Bay. But Cassius Howell, 15th overall to Tampa Bay, a little undersized. I believe he's only like 6'2", 240 something, but explosive as hell off the edge. Ready for the Jets' second pick? Who'd they take at first? They took Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese with the second overall pick. They go back to the trenches. I love this pick. Caleb Banks.
But isn't it high for Banks at 16?
No, sir. I had him 14th to Baltimore. 6'6", 330.
I didn't think he'd be drafted this high.
Because he didn't play much this year, but he went to the Senior Bowl and dominated. 6'6", 330 and can move. You're getting picked high. You're getting picked early. SEC, size, 35-inch arms. Could become a top 10 player from this class with proper development. We'll see if he gets that in New York. I love Caleb Banks. I think this would be...
How do you feel about him relative to Walter Nolan, who went basically in the same spot last year? Because you liked Walter Nolan a lot.
They're comparable.
You say so?
They're comparable. Caleb Banks is much bigger. Right?
Yeah,
he's much bigger.
Huge, right?
It's a little different type of player.
Run-stuffing nose tackle that can also still rush the passer.
Different type of player. All right, Lions fans. Let's see what Lions fans get. Monroe Freeling, 6'7" offensive tackle out of Georgia. So they go O-tackle in Detroit. I think Lions fans wanted corner. I believe cornerback, defensive back is what I've seen the community from the Lions. What is that? One Pride. What are the Lions hashtag? I think they want defensive help over there, but they go O-tackle to help protect Jared Goff in this new offense. Give Jahmyr Gibbs some more rushing lanes. We'll see. I don't think that Demont is coming back. I don't know if Montgomery will be back, but you gotta
unlikely.
Gotta improve that offensive line, and that's what Detroit does here at 17. 18, the Vikings. Every time I do it, they get in my comments and upset when I give them a cornerback. They get Brandon Cisse out of South Carolina. This one is the first one where I was like, I don't know if I would take him this high. Not at 18. Not at 18, Jay Rich. I don't know about this one.
Jeez,
Let's talk
Brugler,
about
not a fan. 41 on his top 100.
Where's Brugler got him?
41. He's got him below D'Angelo Pons, who, to be fair, is undersized.
Okay. All right. At 19, the Carolina Panthers go Akeem Mesidor. They go edge rusher out of Miami. Jay, you like Mesidor, right? He's a little older. He's older.
But he's plug and play, right? For a team that needs defense badly in Carolina. We know offensively they're going to have their struggles, and then they could maybe address receiver in the second round. But defense should be a priority for this team. They have to get after the passer, and I think he would be a good pick. I still don't know if he's going to go this high in the draft, but it seems like he's still steadily rising. So we'll see how his combine goes and his testing goes. But
I think he's going to be a first rounder.
I think he'll be a first rounder too. But I again, 19 is not what I was expecting. I was probably expecting like maybe 23 through 30 or so, like just kind of getting that late first round, but he seems to still be rising, which, again, older prospect, but definitely plug and play, ready to go as far as NFL players go.
All right, the Dallas Cowboys are up with their second first-round pick, and they go Keldrick Falk, edge rusher out of Auburn.
You can't like this.
You
don't like Falk.
Not a fan.
You are not a fan.
Not a fan. Not a fan. Not a fan of this one. Big player.
6'6", 270.
280. It feels like it's not the type of edge rusher that I would prefer. 20
years old, so he's very young.
Very young. I would prefer a different position. I would not like this pick if I were Dallas, but that's what Dallas does, right? That's what Dallas does. At 21, Jay Rich, your boy Ty Simpson. There he is. Pittsburgh drafts Ty Simpson in round 1.
Mike McCarthy gets his quarterback. Yikes. So now we got the Pittsburgh Steelers led by Ty Simpson in 2026. Ray, how do you feel about that? 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins?
McCarthy said he praised Will Howard. I think Will Howard's going to get a shot this year. I think Will Howard's going to get a shot this year.
I mean, depending on what they do in draft and free agency, he definitely should, but how do you feel about that, honestly? I mean, we saw Will Howard play at Ohio State. He was fine, but fine isn't really good in the NFL.
We'll see.
And Simpson is, once again, fine.
We'll see.
Like
all I'll say is he's in a cohort of quarterbacks who have not played a lot in college that did not fare well at the next level. I'll just say that. Like
starts.
There are not a lot of quality. And did you see Ian Harditz's tweet about Ty Simpson's EPA?
I saw it just went down all season.
They said it looked like a crypto. It just started off high and it went down all season. Yeah. Every level, he got worse.
Louisiana, Monroe.
How do you draft a player, even at the quarterback spot, who got worse as the season went on? He didn't even finish. I don't want to hear it.
But you know why? Because you start with the cupcakes in the SEC, and then that SEC schedule comes, and it's just downhill from there.
Awful. Chargers. I make this pick every time. Vega Ione.
It's such a good pick.
Give me the 6'5", 320-pound aggressive guard. Like he ain't a guard that wants to. I want to play guard, Jay Rich, and just push big defensive tackles around. Love it. Come to my team. I'd rather this in Dallas than damn Keldrick Falk on the edge. So Vega Ione goes to the Chargers. Hopefully they get back Slater and Alt, but you need your interior as well.
Slater and Alt and Ione is a very good
the Eagles,
3 players.
The Eagles go to O-Tackle. Can't pronounce the last name. Go O-Tackle out of Arizona State. Big riser post Senior Bowl. And there are rumors that both Dickerson and Lane Johnson could hang it up.
Yeah,
we'll see. And I'm with you, Rico. Hey, people get on that A-Rich. Ty Simpson said, "Give me one, coach.
Definitely did.
Give me the rest of this game. Put in this backup.
The A-Rich.
Get me up out of here. Get me up out of here." Philly goes O-Tackle. Philly go. Yeah, Kevin said, "Get me Samoan guards." Yes. Philly goes offensive tackle at 23. Cleveland is up. at 24, and I love it. Denzel Boston out of Washington. Love the pick. Love the pick.
Boston?
I think he's an incredible receiver. He's very good. He's a very good dinosaur kind of receiver. Like, they don't just make him like this anymore. 6'4", 210 pounds, right? Big play threat, downfield. I think my boy Matt Harmon said he plays and reminds him of Mike Evans when he watches Denzel Boston play.
Hall of Fame comps. Let's go.
Well, to your point, though, I'd much rather a tackle at 6 and a receiver at 24 than taking Makai Lemon or Tate at 6, and then you're trying to backfill the tackles that are left. I mean, I know Lomu is still on the board, but I like this sequencing of picks for the Cleveland Browns. What are your thoughts on Boston?
It's fine. I think I prefer a more agile receiver, but just the way that the draft fell for Cleveland, like Boston is really the only guy right now that kind of falls in this range. I feel like it's kind of a trade down spot for them. If this is where they're looking, I just would rather a Concepcion for them, or even just looking at, some of the other guys that are further down the board. Even Omar Cooper would be really good for them. It's just, for me, I don't know if they need an X, right? And going this route, I think you probably get some more draft capital. I don't know. I just don't know if Boston's the right fit for me in Cleveland.
Jason's asking third option behind Judy and Fant or wide receiver 1. Third option. He'd be the third option out the gate. He'd be the third option.
Out the gate he would
realistically,
be, but
he'd be the third option.
Develop into be bigger than that?
Well, I think he would make plays. They'd put him on the outside. Judy would move around, play the Z flanker role, play inside the slot. You've got Fannin.
Who's the other guy they have there that I keep forgetting?
Who? Cedric Tillman? No, thank you.
They still got Steady Tillman.
Steady Tillman
Tennessee,
can't stay on
baby.
the field.
Come on.
There you go. Kevin said, I want Boston to the Patriots just for the jersey sales. That would be kind of cool. And yes, related to David Boston. If you remember,
How old is that?
David Boston.
David Boston.
Come on, baby. Ohio State, jacked up. Him and Charles Woodson fighting. You don't remember the fight?
Oh,
him and Charles Woodson? Let's go.
Ages ago.
Yeah. Zion Young goes to the Chicago Bears. Edge rusher out of Missouri. Chicago's going defensive line. Let's get after the quarterback. Don't blame him. The Bears should be back in the playoffs in 2026. The Buffalo Bills catch a steal. Peter Woods falls all the way to Buffalo at 26, man. Damn.
How is
they
Peter
say they don't
Woods
like people are knocking him,
man?
They're knocking him.
Why? He was a top 5 pick. Like, people literally had him as one of the best players in the draft behind Caleb Downs. Like 5 months ago.
Because your boy Dabo Sweeney crapped the bed, and all the Clemson Tigers tumbled down the board. All of them.
But
every last one of them.
3 Tigers that are still first-round talents, but they are
what
not.
3 are first-round talents? Woods, Terrell, and Parker. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm not going to argue there. But they get him. Buffalo gets Peter Woods at 26. 27, the Niners. There goes your boy, Casey Concepcion. Goes to Frisco. Woo! I like it.
That's the right fit.
I like it.
You don't comp him to Debo, but you say there's a bit of Debo in his game,
he's definitely not Debo. But he can win quickly and very good.
You can use him like Debo, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He can win quickly.
I wouldn't run him
very
football,
good.
but I mean more short passing over the middle stuff.
Yeah, Jason said Peter Woods and Dayon Walker not running on that front in Buffalo. Not running on that front. I love Concepcion to Frisco. That makes a lot. That's a good pick. I think people would be very excited. How do you feel about that
receiver core? If it's Concepcion and hopefully
they have
Ricky
no
Pearsall,
receiving core.
Right? Did you hear what George Kittle said
Concepcion
in an interview yesterday? It was yesterday or the day before, talking about the electrical power station, right?
Who was doing this?
George Kittle.
Okay.
So George Kittle was asked about the power substation, whatever thing, and he's talking about how when he was a rookie, there was these trees that lined the practice facility, and they were always dead, apparently. And it wasn't until last year the NFL came in and cut them all down. So again, I've never been there. I don't know the ergonomics of the situation for the trees. Maybe they weren't watered. Maybe there was just a bad spot for them. There wasn't a lot of sunlight. But he said they were always dead, like no leaves, nothing, all the time. And he's talking about how only players who were there a long time ago remember that, because most people just don't realize it and forget. But he's like, yeah, the trees are all dead all the time, all year round. And of course, this is in California where they should be lively all year round.
Kevin is hilarious. You see his damn tweets. Kevin is. Hey, somebody ban Kevin, man. Kevin cutting up in the chat. Kevin is cutting up in the chat. Get him out of here, Jay Rich. Ban him. All right, Houston at 28. Caden Proctor, O-tackle. I like it.
Sniping my pick, man.
I love it. Give C.J. Stroud some protection. Give C.J. Stroud some protection. The Rams go Colton Hood, cornerback. Did they go double corner?
They doubled up.
There's no way they did. They double dipped. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Adam said I got to send one of those plants that don't need to be watered. It's an amaryllis bulb. You don't have to water. Just give it light and it won't die. Won't die. At 30, Kenyon Sadiq goes to Denver. I'm seeing a lot of people just kind of mad on Kenyon Sadiq. A lot of people are very mad.
Falling down boards right now.
I said it.
You did say it.
2 months ago. I mocked him Jay Rich, I mocked him to Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
Not at 9, though. At 40. In the second round.
He's got to go first round,
do you think, let me ask you this, Kenyon Sadiq or Tyler Warren?
No, I'm taking Tyler Warren.
Kenyon Sadiq or Colston Loveland?
It's Loveland. It's not even close.
Kenyon Sadiq or Harold Fannin?
It's also Fannin.
Kenyon
At that point,
Sadiq
there could be a conversation.
Or Oronde Gadsden? In L.A. with McDaniel.
I kind of like Gadsden more.
Kenyon Sadiq or Terrence Ferguson?
Nah, I got to take Sadiq there. Sadiq will get the draft capital to be a bit more relevant. Ferguson was drafted fairly high, though. He was, mid-second round or maybe low second
And he played at Oregon ahead of Kenyon Sadiq and was pretty good there as well. So,
yeah.
All right, let's keep moving. Caleb Lomu, your Pats go Caleb Lomu.
We got a tackle. Swing tackle. Lucky us. That's exactly what we need, a swing tackle.
You probably need a tackle. After what we saw.
He'd play guard for us, but it is what it is.
All right, and then the Seattle Seahawks, they go offensive guard as well. After taking Grace Abel, they go back down and grab the kid out of Texas A&M. And Rico says Ferg. Brandon is saying Ferg. Scribbles is saying I love Ferg.
I like Ferg, but I think they're going to take a receiver. And I don't think Ferg's going to be very relevant.
There was a tweet that I saw about Sadiq's profile and how at the tight end, he's like one of the only tight ends in X number of years or projected to go round 1 or in a bad cohort that has less than 1,000 scrimmage yards, I believe,
for his career.
I believe that was the sentiment of the tweet that I saw. Okay. That was Field Yates's round 1 mock. I thought it was solid. I thought it was a solid round 1. A lot of receivers, 1 running back. See a lot of offensive linemen, a lot of defensive players, which highlight the strength of the class. You've got the quarterbacks in there as well. Cam saying no way. Ferg over Sadiq with the draft capital. Deserves Tennessee. Double Tennessee corner for the Rams, hiring Tennessee's DB coach. Maybe that's what it was.
If that happens.
They doubled up on the. That does deserve some more attention. They doubled up on Tennessee corners, and they've got Tennessee's DB coach. I think they need to go defensive help in the worst way in the Rams. That defense was Swiss cheese. All right, Jay, we're going to go to the break. When we come back, we are going to do a rookie mock. We can use some of this, or at least the projected rankings, or where people think these players are going to go, and build out our rookie draft board 1.0. Hit the thumbs up button. Like the stream. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to the show. Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Tuesday, every Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the channel. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, subscribe to the podcast feed, Wake Up with Ray and Jay. If you can't make it live, you can't engage with the chat, you can listen to us, Google, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcast at. Check out the Let's Talk Ball podcast feed. That's all my content, college football, NFL draft. And then, of course, DD Fantasy Football Radio. Check that out for all of the fantasy football content. Scott, Shane, Brandon, myself, all over there, including the trade show with Ty DeClaire and Gabe. And Jay, I wanted to, because the people have been talking, I had to show you what these things look like, okay? So
okay.
Here's what the bulb looks like when it has not done anything. Just looks like that. Looks like kind of like a
looks
pineapple.
like an onion.
Yeah, onion. There you go, an onion. There you go. And when it blooms, look at that. How pretty that is.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
That's
right?
actually,
exactly.
It's actually not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. And you don't have to water it, Jay. So there you go. You good.
Look at you. Life hacking with GQ.
Oh, yeah. Cultured over here, Jay Rich. Cultured over here. All right, let's pull it up. Let's go through our mock drafts that we're going to do. And all of you out there, all of you watching live, you're here on the stream, you can use our rookie mock draft simulator for FREE. If you go to ddfantasyfootball.com, you can mock draft. We've got ADP up, mock draft stuff, all of that. You just jump on and you get it done with us here. Go to ddffb.com and mock draft with us. We've got ADP, which we'll look at later. All right, Jay Rich, let's get this thing started. 1.0 mock. We're going super flex to get some more quarterbacks in the mix. 101, okay. Jay Rich, it's who? Even in Superflex, Jeremiah Love, right?
It is, but question to you.
No question.
There's no debate.
These are the top two picks.
Jeremiah Love, and that's it.
It's Jeremiah Love.
So your 1 and 2 are Jeremiah Love and Fernando Mendoza at 2 in Superflex.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Could anything change you in that thinking? You're just, especially more Mendoza, because Love, I know you're pretty set on Love, but could anything change you and move you off Mendoza? I mean, we know where he's going, but it depends, I guess, on where the receivers go.
No. In Superflex, I'm not the number 1 overall pick. Getting Bowers, Genty, Clint Kubiak, Fernando Mendoza's 2. I think this is the start of the board. The draft really starts at the 103 spot. I'm gonna give you 103. Who's the 103? Love and Mendoza come off the board. 1 and 2, 103. Where you going?
Tyson. It's always Tyson for me.
Jordan Tyson.
Wide receivers. Injuries be damned. I'm always going to take Tyson as wide receiver 1. I think the talent is undeniable. I think he's so fluid in the way that he moves. I've called him Baby Chase. I just love what he's able to do. And I think for a lot of people who just watched his 2025 film, you'd probably be much more impressed if you went back and watched 2024, because that was really his breakout season when he was at his healthiest. Injuries, of course, are going to be a concern. But for me, Tyson is still the number 1 talent at the wide receiver position in this draft class.
All right, Jordan Tyson, wide receiver 1, according to Jay Rich. Jay, I'm gonna give you 4 and 5. 4 and 5. Where we going?
Probably for the best.
4 and 5.
I would take Tate over Lemon, but it would be Tyson, Tate, and then Lemon for me. When we talked about Lemon, when I first watched his film and stuff, making the profile for him, I was just not very enthused. And that's a bit of a me issue as well. He's just not really my style receiver. But again, I think the problem for me with Lemon, and feel free to comment on this after, is that it feels like he's got to be Amon-Ra St. Brown to return on what people expect of him. And if he isn't, and he's like Jarvis Landry, people are going to be very disappointed in the output of Makai Lemon. Now, again, it's just looking at 2 different players and kind of their trajectories. Draft capital is obviously very different for both those guys, but where are you at with Lemon? Because he's the one I feel like people either love him or they're not as sold on him as much.
I don't know how people are not sold on him. He's a very good wide receiver, though. He's an awesome wide receiver. I do not believe he's freaking Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think people forget how good Amon-Ra was coming out of USC and why he shouldn't have fallen, but because he didn't run a 4.4 something, he fell in the draft. I think I think this is pretty much locked in, man, is the top 5. I honestly do. I think the better questions are right here, Tyson or Ladd or Rome. It's talking through some of these rookie receivers, and would you rather them over a Rome Odunze, a Burden, a JMO, a Xavier Worthy, some of those players. And then right here, Eccles said he's taking the three receivers over Mendoza. So to your question to me, is there anything that could change that for me? And I said no. You've got somebody right here saying, yeah, I'd take the 3 wide receivers over Fernando Mendoza in Superflex. Okay.
And I understand that. I think there would be a lot of people who would do that because Mendoza is a quarterback going to a situation that we're really not so sure how good it is. And in a lot of cases in recent years, Ray, when was the last rookie quarterback that actually was really good in their rookie season? You got to go back to CJ Stroud, and he was okay from a fantasy perspective. He's been terrible ever since. Like Bryce Young, first overall, he was god-awful. Last year, they were okay, but even you look to 2024, this loaded draft class, that's really where you saw the quarterbacks in the early first round produce, and they were elite level athletes, elite level prospects, and we know Mendoza isn't quite that, so I'm not surprised people would take those receivers over Mendoza.
All right, I guess the draft starts here at 6. What would you do at 6? Like, what's the play at 6?
Honestly, for me, it's
you got Simpson.
I'm not taking Simpson. If it was me, and
it is you right now. It's your mock. It's your mock.
I know, but if I'm picking a player right now, and draft capital is big here, like my next player would probably be Jadarian Price, only because I think he's RB2, and I don't think that's going to change for me. But picking a receiver here, like I like Boston, but I don't love him either. I like Concepcion. I don't love him. Like it's a lot of players that are fine, and it's going to be depending on where they ultimately end up. So for me, it'd probably be Price and then Boston if we're going with, okay, Boston's probably wide receiver 4. He'll be drafted, in the mid-20s or so, maybe a bit higher than that depending on where he gets drafted. Like those for me are probably my next 2 right now. But what are your thoughts on those 2 guys? I know you like Price quite a bit, and then you already talked about how you like Boston. But if Jadarian Price goes in the 3rd round, would that sway you from taking him this high in the rookie draft?
Yeah, I wouldn't take a 3rd round running back over a 1st round receiver. So
can't do that, right?
Yeah, I would. But for the sake of this, and I'll put KC right here, I would have gone just based on how people are being projected right now. This isn't some tight end premium. It's super flex, so the quarterbacks were involved. I would go Boston and KC over Price, but I agree with you. I think Jadarian Price is going to be the RB2. It's not going to be Cadillac Williams and Ronnie Brown out of Auburn, where they had 2 running backs go inside the top 5 from the same school. It's not even going to be Arkansas from, I believe, 2008, when Darren McFadden and Felix Jones were both 1st-round picks. But I do believe that the first 2 running backs off of the board this year will be Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, both Notre Dame rushers. I would have taken the 2 receivers over Price, but that's okay. We got him off the board here. Boston, Concepcion off the board, 109. Is it Ty Simpson time?
No. For me, it would be Omar Cooper next.
All right. Omar Cooper.
Yeah, I like Cooper a lot, though. I would take Cooper very high. I think Cooper will be a high 2nd-round pick. Now, again, it's really going to depend on where he goes, because if he goes to the Jets, I'm out. If he goes to the Titans, I'm probably out. I'd prefer him to go late first. He's probably not going to go late first, but if he did, he'd be obviously in a much better spot.
I don't know, mate. Listen, I mean,
he's rising.
Even
though,
if it's not,
sure.
even if it's early 2nd, think about some of the receivers that got drafted around that slot over the past couple of years. That's where Leggett, Pearsall, Keon Coleman, Michael Pittman, T. Higgins at the top of the 2nd, Ladd McConkey, Ricky. So I don't want to say never, especially if people are like, hey, I want to get my receiver, and he is a player that projects to be a slot receiver. So if you've got a team picking late in the 1st round and they need an inside guy,
New England, maybe. If he goes to New England, I'm going to be in, but they need a tackle. So.
All right, well, round us out round 1. I'll help you come round 2, but we've got Omar Cooper off the board. It is super flex. Sadiq is still here. Jonah Coleman, Simpson, Surratt, Katron, Brazel, Branch. Where are we going, Jay?
I just don't want any of these running backs.
Sadiq?
Nah, I don't want Sadiq. I'd rather take Brazel over Sadiq. And I want your thoughts on reaching on Chris Bell, because I know you like Chris Bell.
So we're going. Hold on, we're going Brazel here at 110.
Yes.
Okay, Chris Brazel, and then you asked me about who?
About Chris Bell.
If he didn't have an ACL injury, he'd be a 1st-round pick.
Right.
But he tore his ACL, so
you can't make that, because even Elijah Surratt, I like Elijah Surratt, but I don't like him that much.
You're not blowing a 1st-round pick on a player who has a torn ACL. No, You can't do that.
Like, I guess it's between Jonah Coleman and Emmett Johnson, and I slightly prefer Jonah Coleman because Emmett Johnson just literally looks like so slow out there.
He looks very slow. And I saw some clips of him training yesterday, and I'm not getting fooled. He looks slow on field.
Zach Moss reincarnated. I can't do it.
I've comped him to Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is... Williams was fine in the NFL, but not great. Fun. I think that's what he is. So Jonah Coleman at 11 and round out. You can't let Simpson fall out of round 1. This is, even if you don't like him, people made the same mistake in Dynasty rookie drafts last year. They didn't like Jackson Dart, got drafted a little too late.
It's way different than Jackson Dart, and you know it. You know it. You know I'm not letting Jackson Dart.
Well, then where are we going? Where Sadiq and Simpson falling out of round 1? Who's the 112?
Give me Sadiq. Sadiq should probably be a first rounder, but I can't take Simpson. I just don't like him enough.
But play we know you don't like him personally, but play the format, play the league, you know? Like, I get you.
I mean, how was drafting Kenny Pickett in the first round of rookie drafts?
Let me tell you this. If you drafted Kenny Pickett in the first round, if people listen to the Wake Up Show and they followed your hype off the preseason, you could have sold them for a hell of a lot more than what you can now. People want to pick it for a point in time.
Might be able to.
That year 2 breakout, that I'll never forget.
But you got to be able to do it.
3-0 in the preseason, led the NFL in passing yards and touchdowns. Lit it up. Top 15 dynasty quarterback. It's just the QB position. I'm making the executive decision. I can't let him fall any further. It's the format. Ty Simpson's coming off the board here at the 201 spot. The 101 got Jeremiah Love, and they end up getting a quarterback in round 2. All right, Jay, after this.
Then I would go Emmett Johnson.
Now, Emmett Johnson over Katron Allen. Let's just look at the running backs. You got Emmett Johnson, Katron Allen, Kaleon Black, Singleton, Claiborne, Mike Washington, Lev Moss, Adam Randall. Receivers, we still have Surratt.
Allen is Allen seems like he's going to be a third rounder. Emmett maybe could be a second rounder, like a late second rounder.
Zachariah Branch?
Emmett Johnson more. I'm not. Zachariah Branch is like a 205 pick. Give me Johnson here, and then I want Surratt, and then you can give me Katron Allen.
Okay, so we'll go to the next 3. Jay Rich will assign those. So we started off the second round. Ty Simpson, 201. Emmett Johnson, running back out of Nebraska, 202. And Elijah Surratt, wide receiver out of Indiana, 203. Katron Allen, the first Penn State running back, off of the board at the 204 spot. Now we're at the 205. It's a bunch of receivers. The running backs, this is what we got. We got Black, Singleton, Claiborne, Washington. QBs, if you wanted to take a shot there, you got Nuss Bus still there. He's probably
second,
a day
early
2.
Third, probably.
He's a day 2 pick. He's probably a day 2 pick.
You think he'll be day 2?
I do think he will go day 2. I do think he will go day 2. Let's finish out round 2, Jay. Let's finish out round 2. Do you want to take your shot on Chris Bell here? I'm fine with it if you want to do it.
I would want to take the shot on Chris Bell, yeah.
All right, let's go Chris Bell.
I think he's just too good. And the players in this range, they're so boomer bust. I don't know. I know people like Malachi Fields a lot. I'm not really there on Malachi Fields.
Well, here's our list. So after Chris Bell at 205, what do you think about the 206 spot?
I'm leaning Jacoby Lane over Zachariah Branch.
Okay, Lane over Branch. All right, there we go.
I'm leaning Lane over
Bell,
Branch.
Lane, and let's assign those 2 and look at the board. And now we're sitting at the 207 spot. So we're rounding out this second round. 3 more receivers, 2 running backs. Eli Stowers?
If you want, I know people like him a lot. I have not watched any Eli Stowers tape.
We'll throw Eli in here. If Sadiq went 112, we'll put Eli in there right here at the 207 spot. Jay, it's already getting rough, right? It's pretty nasty right now.
So what do you do with Singleton? Because he's not going to test. Jason's asking about him rising at the combine. Does he have a broken foot?
Broken foot, I believe.
I think he broke his foot, at the Senior Bowl. So he's not going to test. Should be fine for, I'd imagine, training camp at least. OTAs, rookie OTAs is probably a little bit dicey. Will be a little bit closer, but should be at least ready to get on the field. I like Singleton a lot. I think here is probably a fine spot for him because he will fall a bit just because of that broken foot. But outside of that, I don't know. Where are you at on Singleton?
I don't think he was very good in the season. He's gotten
worse and worse like the last 2 seasons, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm not a big Singleton guy at all. I like Black a lot. except for the fact he didn't even get a damn invite to the combine. So that lets you know. A running back who's got an ADP at 22 is not even invited to the combine. You got Mike Washington and the age gate. Is he really 25? Somebody said he's 23. Yeah. Who knows? Receiver, I'm going to do this. Whether you like him or not, Malachi Fields and Zachariah Branch are going to get draft capital. They're going to get drafted inside the top 50, maybe top 60 picks. Both of those players are. Malachi Fields out of Notre Dame. I'm not a big Zachariah Branch fan. I have been burned, Jay Rich, by small yak specialists. OGQ had a type. If you were a small, undersized receiver that was good at yak, I was all in. Rondell Moore, Jalen Reagor. If you could cut up some stuff, I was all in. No more. If that's all you can do, if that's your superpower, out-yakking collegiate defenders is probably not going to end well in the NFL. I've learned my lesson. No thank you. Zachariah Branch, 209. Let's round out 210, 211, and 212. Jay, where you want to go?
I think I want to go. Who's the player I was looking at? Is it too early to take Antonio Williams?
You can take Antonio Williams.
The weird thing for me is that there's receivers ahead of him, but like he's going to get the draft capital. I think he's probably going to be slated in for late second round, maybe early third round. And I like him a lot. He's a good receiver. Just, again, part of that Clemson team that just fell apart this year. He did deal with some injuries this season. But that's kind of where I'm leaning with that next pick. After that,
I'd take Garrett Nussmeier at 211. I still think if I'm playing this and you're thinking like you're the 211 and you've earned that, you came in second in your league, you're picking at the back of the second, it's super flex. I'm not trying to thread the needle on Deion Burks or Bryce Lance becoming the next big thing at receiver. All I'm trying to do is if I can get a quarterback that at some point, if he just gets on the field to get some starts in the NFL, which they will, on average, I believe it's close to 60 quarterbacks start in a season per season, I'll just trade him. Somebody loves Garrett Nussmeier. That D-Bro loves him. My boy D-Bro said, hey, he was hurt in 2025. He had that oblique injury, had that knee injury. If he can just return to 2024 for him where people thought he could be a top 10 pick, we got money. So I just think at this spot, the reward is absolutely worth a 211 on a quarterback. I'm good with Nuss Bus right here at 211.
Okay, so then where do you stand on Cade Klubnik? We've been talking all show about the fall of the Clemson Tigers.
I think Cade Klubnik gets drafted after Carson Beck, probably after Drew Allar. So I don't feel
after Drew Allar too.
I think Drew Allar is probably going to go a little higher than people expect. I think he's going to get the old Penn State pass, right? Whether it's Hackenberg, it wasn't his fault, right? James Franklin couldn't develop him, but he's 6'5", 240. Isn't this the same damn Drew Allar last year in the college football playoffs? People said could have been the number one overall pick. They were saying him and Cam Ward, top two picks in the draft. He's got all the physical tools. I think he's going to go higher than people expect. He's going to be. I think he's going to be a day 2 pick and probably land in a spot where people can tell themselves a story that he gets on the field and he's probably better than what he showed at Penn State, but. That's the story. That's the narrative.
And the only reason why I bring up Cade Klubnik, honestly, is because I think his fantasy football skill set is actually pretty good. He can throw all over the field. He can run. Again, he's not quite Arch Manning level of athlete, but he's probably a little bit of a downgrade from there. And Arch Manning's obviously going to be the number 1 overall pick next season. Very different situations when you just look at the way they can play on a football field. I do think it is surprisingly similar. And coming off that down season, I wouldn't be surprised if someone took a shot on him and he got on the field.
Is that what you want to do right here? You want to end with your Drew Allar? Because we're not going through round 3. Who do you want here? We're not going through round 3. We're going 2 rounds.
Do you want to go? Who is your off the board pick? Let's say it's not the second round. You traded all your draft picks in the 3rd, 4th round. This is all you have left to you. Who would you plant your flag on? Because I look at Skylar Bell. I know a lot of people like him, but he's way down the board in a lot of drafts. Outside of that, you know who I don't like is Adam Randall. Adam Randall sucks. He is not a good running back.
Yeah.
At least I'm just not a fan of his game. I think he's slow. I don't think he's I just don't think he's very good.
Flag plant. If I had the flag plant a player that's still on the board, and I know we're picking at 212, but just flag planting a player that I think is going to go like a sleeper, like a true day 3 guy that maybe can land on a team, get some burn, turn into something. It's Jamari Taylor. It's Jamari Taylor out of Virginia. And you can see he's buried in ADP. 5'9", 205 pounds out of Virginia. Like, that would be right now out of all the, like, Mike Washington, I just don't think he's very good. I know he's big and people are excited. Le'Veon Moss is good, but he can't stay healthy. Claiborne is okay. Singleton, no thank you. I like Black, but it would be Jamari Taylor, running back out of Virginia. And you can go look up his numbers while I talk, because you probably, not many people are watching Virginia play, okay? But when you see Jamari Taylor, you're like, oh, okay. Like, and he's not a feature back. He would be more of a complimentary type guy, but I would say Jamari Taylor, at least at this point on February 12th, would be kind of my off the board.
222 carries, 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, 4.8 a carry last season. Not bad. I mean, ACC, decent competition, right?
Can I go Taylor? Can you want me to just pick him right here?
Yeah, go.
All right, we'll pick Taylor here.
Where the hell did he come from? North Carolina Central.
Yeah,
Jeez.
man. Yeah, we'll go Taylor here.
That?
We'll go Jamari Taylor here, and then we'll assign that, Jay, and then we are going to end this thing, right? We had another round that we were going to go through, but we'll let
it. Too dirty, man.
Yeah, it's a little too dirty. We'll just go Black. Let's finish out the board because I just like looking at the board. So some other players that'll probably be in the round 3 range. Jeremy
Carson
Bernard
Beck could definitely be in the range for sure.
I think Nicholas Singleton will be there. Who did you say?
Carson Beck. And would you take a shot on Michael Trigg?
Carson
Freak
Beck,
athlete, tight end,
yeah, sure.
right?
We'll put Trigg in the 3rd round. I think this is where a player like Mike Washington probably off of the board. You brought up Cade Klubnik. He's probably coming off of the board. Brennan Thompson, speed guy out of Mississippi State, kind of maybe a day 3, a round 3 type player. This is where I think people start taking shots. Max Clare at tight end, probably going a little higher than this in the real NFL draft. Somebody's going to like Adam Randall. Somebody's going to like Le'Veon Moss. And then if we're at the 312 spot and you're just swinging for the damn fences.
Would you take a shot on Ted Hurst?
Sure. If you want to take Ted Hurst, we could scroll all the way down and take that Ted Hurst. It doesn't, I think that's fine. So let's assign these, finish the draft, but that kind of gives you an idea of what these rookie picks are kind of looking like, Jay. How do you feel? This is your first time going through one of these. I know you've seen me do them. You've seen other people do these mocks. How are you feeling about your rookie picks in Dynasty today?
Not good beyond the 1st round, honestly. Like, there's a couple guys top of the 2nd, but I do feel like this is more common than people realize. I mean, when you don't have 4 or 5 first-round quarterbacks, it just makes the 2nd round really, really thin, especially at the top. And of course, we're going to see where these guys are drafted. We're talking about all these receivers. They're going to be drafted, top 100. And I think that's where you're going to see a lot of things change with this draft capital. It's all dependent on where are these receivers drafted, what team situations are they in, and then the running backs, because they're going to be 3rd rounders. Probably a lot of these guys are going to be 3rd rounders. And then it's going to come down to is where do they ultimately land, and do you think there's a path to playing time for them? So that's where, with all the unknowns we have right now and projecting out draft capital, there's very few even receivers in the 2nd round. Someone asked about Omar Cooper and why I drafted him so high. It's like, I'm so confident he's going to get the capital, and personally, I really, really like him. I don't think he's going to go as high in a lot of rookie mocks right now, but I would not be surprised if he gets close to that range when the draft comes around, because he'll probably be a top 40 pick. And for people who aren't familiar with, the way that we draft wide receivers, especially in fantasy football, when you're a top 40 pick, like, that is the range you want to be in for wide receivers. And after that, that's when things start to get really, really dicey when it comes to that draft capital.
So there's our first board, Jay Rich. There goes our first board right there. Round 1, round 2, and then we really only went 2 rounds and then kind of auto-picked rounds 3 and rounds 4. Yeah, them 4th round picks, 3rd round picks, pretty sorry here in 2026. But yeah, you can check out the mock draft simulator right here on our site. We've got our ADP pulled up. We've done over, I think it tells you, we've done, 405 super flex drafts so far. So if you want to check out the ADP, right here on the site, you can see 1 quarterback. If you just want to look at the QB position, take certain positions off, just check out the receivers, their median range, their high band, their low band. but all of this is available on the site. So rookie ADP, all that stuff, super flex. You want to change it to 1QB. We don't do a ton of 1QB drafts over here, but that ADP is also available right there on ddfantasyfootball.com. Jay Rich, get us out of here, baby.
Thank you to everybody for tapping in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know who your favorite pick was and who was the worst pick from our very first rookie mock draft. A lot's going to change, especially when it comes to these receivers and running backs. But Fernando Mendoza, Ray, you're locked in 102.
Locked in.
I like it. I don't know if I love it, but I like it. The Raiders, the offense, Clint Kubiak looking good for Fernando Mendoza. But thank you, everybody, for tapping in. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. We are out. Peace.